Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sierra Sinister channel and welcome to a new video. So I am excited. First of all, I look alive today and this is the first time that I've gotten ready in about a week, so thank you all for giving me a reason to actually get up, get dressed, and look a little cute. Today we are doing my 1-year anniversary on Booktube Q&A video. I'm actually about a month late to my own Booktube anniversary. The first video that I ever uploaded to this channel on my Booktube channel was the Try a Chapter tag, and that was on July 7th. 2019, so now here we are, August 8th, 2020. To be honest with you all, I'm a little bit intimidated to do this because I don't ever like asking people to directly participate or like interact with me. So the concept of asking people to ask me questions was very, very daunting for some reason, because I'm like, nobody's gonna want to know anything about me. Like, I'm so boring, nobody cares. Like, why would anybody want to listen to you talk about yourself? But thankfully, a lot of you guys came through for me on Instagram and also in my YouTube comments. So thank you so much for anybody that left me a comment. 460 of you have clicked subscribe. So thank you if you're one of those people that click the button and actually watch my videos. Basically just going to go down the list of questions I got from each platform. I asked on YouTube first, so I'm gonna go from YouTube comments to Twitter to Instagram. So without further ado, let's do it. So this user called Jane the Brain was the first person to comment on my last video, so thank you so much. They said, I've been enjoying the reading journal videos, but definitely understand why you don't want to make them anymore. Question, what kind of genres, etc. do you like reading and which ones are not for you? So I'm definitely a YA contemporary girl. I love my YA like romances. I love my YA dystopian. Genres that I'm not really comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with any like historical fiction, not interesting to me, and I'm also not comfortable with murder mysteries for the most part. I'm not into gory books, I'm not into smutty books, like anything like that. It's just not for me. This comment makes me so happy. So Belle Can Read, who is a person that has been in my YouTube comments since she subscribed to me, so she's always watching my videos, thank you so much. She said, the text is still as entertaining as your voiceover. The series was fun to watch, but I'm glad you had more fun doing spreads off camera. For questions, how did you get into environmental science? Do you prefer blogging or Booktube more? Favorite food? And congrats on 1 year. Alright, so there's 3 questions there, so I'm going to answer them one at a time. So the first one is, how did you get into environmental science? If you don't know, I'm an environmental science major in college. Environmental science has always just been my interest, literally since I was a kid. I mean, I jumped around obviously when I was a kid as to what I want to do, but the environment has always been like my thing that I'm really interested in, and I still don't know exactly what I want to do with my degree once I get out of college, but we're working our way down the path, and I will get there eventually, and I'll know what I want to do. Her next question is, do you prefer blogging or Booktube more? So this is kind of a question that hurts my heart because I definitely started in the bookish community as a book blogger. Like, I didn't even ever think that Booktube existed. As of the last couple of months, I have definitely gravitated towards doing Booktube more than I have towards my blog, which is really sad. I love my blog to death and I've worked on it for years, like 5 years now. So it's like my baby, but it's just more fun to be in front of the camera, and also I feel like my personality kind of comes out on camera better than it does in my writing. I feel like in my writing on my blog, I sound very like critical and analytical and very serious, but you guys know me if you like watch my videos, I'm very upbeat and all over the place, so I feel like that translates way better on a camera than it does in writing. So I guess that was just a long way to say, although I love doing both Booktube and book blogging, I definitely have grown more onto Booktube lately. And the final question that Belle had for me was my favorite food, and honestly this is a hard question because I eat just about everything. I'm vegan, so give me anything that's vegan and delicious and I'll be happy. I'm not a very picky eater. And the last comment I got from my YouTube comments was from a user called V the Painter, and she said, I've never seen a reading journal been done before, so this was really cool. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad I was like the first one that you've seen do a reading journal setup. She said, I have 2 questions for your Q&A. 1, do you have any tips for someone that is thinking about joining the book community on YouTube? And 2, what got you inspired to have a Bookstagram account? Read what you want, talk about what you want, do the videos you want, because when you're trying to imitate and jump on trends that you don't really care about, you get burned out, you know, and it's not fun for you. And if it's not fun, you're gonna stop. So literally just be authentic, be who you are, and do what you want to do with your channel. That's all I got for you. And our second question was, what got you inspired to have a Bookstagram account? I actually joined Bookstagram in 2015 or 2016. I joined Bookstagram to go with my book blog, so I knew that it was important to have some kind of platform where I was talking about books outside of just my website. So that was like really my first step into the bookish community outside of just doing my blog. But Bookstagram really came in for me to get into the community more and share my love of books. And also I love photography, so taking pictures of books was just kind of like a natural mix of the two things, and yeah. So that was all for my Booktube comments. Thank you all so much again to those people that left me comments. I have one person on Twitter, Brenna, you are my favorite. The one person on Twitter that left me a comment or a question for this Q&A was from Brenna Elmore, which if you haven't like subscribed, well not subscribed, she has a blog, so follow her blog. Follow her podcast. Brenna is just amazing. And she said, what was the first book you remember reading or being read to as a kid? So I literally feel like I mentioned this book series in like every single video somehow. I don't know why, but the book series that I grew up with, that was like my first series, Ride or Die, was the Seekers and Survivors series by Erin Hunter. Actually, Erin Hunter is like a pseudonym. I don't know how to say that word. It's a pseudonym. A pseudonym. I'm gonna have to Google the pronunciation, aren't I? Hold on. Pseudonym. Pseudonym. That's how you say it. Okay. It's not as complicated as I thought it was. So yeah, I love the Erin Hunter Seekers and Survivors series, even though it's a pseudonym, and I don't know the specific author that wrote like the books of the series that I really enjoyed, but I love that book series and will always have my heart. I was just so obsessed with animals as a kid, and books with journeys are like one of my favorite types of books, so animals and journeys together was just like Sierra's childhood. So Instagram is definitely the place where I got the most questions, so thank you all so much for actually asking me questions. I'm very happy about it. The first person that I have coming up was Casey. Casey Can Reads, my girl, I love her. She said, what is a day in the life of Sierra like? I love you. Thanks, Casey, I love you too. Honestly, a day in the life of Sierra right now has been very boring. I wake up, I eat, I do my homework, I play Sims, and most recently I just bought Fall Guys, and I can't play it enough because the servers are down all the time, but if I'm not playing Sims, I'm playing Fall Guys, probably talking to my boyfriend at some point, eating lunch, eating dinner, going to sleep, and watching a bunch of YouTube videos in between. Sorry if you wanted something more interesting, but it's definitely not interesting around here right now. Next up we have Nora from The Perks of Being Nora. She asked me, what books would you recommend everyone to read? Okay, so there are way too many books to name for this like particular question. It would take too long. I'm going to hold up a few here, but I also have a blog post called 20 Underrated Books to Read in 2020, and those books on the list are my top underrated 20 books that if you're looking for something to read, you should definitely read it. But I'll hold up a couple that I have, so hold on. Alright, so we have The Memory Book by Laura Avery, Unsaid by Neil Abramson, Catcher by Kaylin Nicholson, and Every Day by David Levithan. Those are some of my favorite books of all time, so if you've never heard of them, they're definitely featured in the blog post that I mentioned. I will have it linked down below if you want to check it out. So the next question I got on my Instagram is from Jane the Brain. It's actually the same person that commented on my YouTube channel video. So their question for me on Instagram was, what is your favorite tea? And actually, hear me out, I actually was drinking it as I was recording this video. This is a chai tea latte, so it's like a black tea, I believe. I like to cheat. I don't drink it, I don't like it hot. I like it iced with like some kind of like almond milk or something. But definitely chai tea is my favorite as iced and greener peppermint as hot. So the next question I got on Instagram is from somebody called Soso Mermelstein. I'm not sure if I said that right. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. But they asked me, who is your favorite author? So I have a favorite authors list on Goodreads if you're wondering. But off the top of my head, I know my favorite authors are David Levithan, Celeste Nung, Natasha Nung, and honestly a recently developed favorite author is definitely Jordan Ifugo because I loved Raybearer and I cannot wait for the rest of that series. Alright, so I kind of already answered this question a little bit, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit more. So Elizabeth and Naya from Fantastical Pages wants to know, I'd love to hear about your environmental science and what you'd like to do. So again, environmental science major in college. I'm actually going in my junior year. Again, I do not know exactly what I want to do with it. If I had to pick, I would say I want to go somewhere in the area of like either conservation or just like ecology research. I'm still kind of working out the whole details of what I want to do, and I'm kind of exploring with the classes that I'm taking. I'm signed up to take like a wetlands ecology class in the fall, so that's going to be fun. You know, just stick around. We'll see what I do. We'll see what I do. Next up we have Jury from Dewdrop Jury, and she wants to know, hello Sierra, how do you stay motivated as a bookish creator? So motivation is something that I find it doesn't wane like very frequently, but when it does, it kind of fluctuates very highly. So I would say that I stay motivated because I love doing this and I love interacting with other people, and so it doesn't feel like it's a chore to do it, it's something I'm choosing to do. So therefore I don't really get unmotivated. I feel like the unmotivation comes mostly when I'm trying to write a book review because I have a lot of pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself and my voice in book reviews, and that's kind of where I like slack sometimes. But as far as like YouTube, as long as I have an idea and I can picture how it will go in my head, I don't really experience a bunch of like slumps in content creation. Alright, so my camera decided to cut off right as I was answering that last question, but it's fine because we're down to the final 2 questions that I got on Instagram. The next question that I got is from Kay from the Bookworm, and she wants to know my favorite 3 words. They don't have to be limited to English. Well, I actually don't have any favorite words in another language, so we're gonna go with English. Something that I think actually speaks volumes to the type of person that I am, or my personality, is the fact that I actually do have a favorite words list on dictionary.com. I have the app on my phone, and every so often I'll go on if I'm reading a book or something and I'm like, oh my god, I love that word, I want to use it eventually. I will literally go on my dictionary.com app and search it and save it. Why don't we go down this list and I'll pick 3 words that I really like. Alright, so we've got, it's in alphabetical order. Ooh, I love the word halcyon. I think that word is so like whimsical, very inspiring. I think that's one of them. I love the word offing too because I live by a beach, so wanderlust is definitely one of my favorite words, hands down. And also woodnote because I love walking through the woods when I'm in school up in Oregon. So yeah, we're gonna go with halcyon, woodnote, and wanderlust. So the second to last question is from Morgan Vega writes, and she says, what was your dream job when you were a kid and what is it now? So my dream job as a kid kind of bounced around. I wanted to be a fashion designer, I wanted to be a veterinarian, I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I guess marine biologist was the closest thing because now I want to do something with the environment or animals or conservation, ecology, anything like that. So that was now versus then, and I think it's funny that I bounced around so much, but the last dream that I had was kind of related to where I am now, so yeah. And the final question I got on Instagram is from Into Star Speaks, and she wants to know your most and least favorite Booktube hyped book. So I feel like I don't actually participate in like hyped books on Bookstagram a lot. I kind of buy and read what I want when I want to, but if I had to pinpoint 2 books that I did buy because of the book internet, I would definitely say my favorite one is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and my least favorite, if you guys didn't know, is definitely Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I have a whole review as to why I didn't like this book. Legendary is sitting on my shelf still unread almost a year later, and I really don't know if I'm gonna get to it anymore. So there you have it. Those are all the questions that I got from everybody that I asked on the different platforms. Thank you all so much to everybody that asked me questions. Thank you all for being here on my Booktube channel and watching if you do, and I will see you all on the channel next Sunday. Bye everybody!